It's been over a decade since Game of Thrones first appeared on our screens, a sprawling fantasy epic that changed the face of television forever. With dragons, betrayal, and unforgettable characters, the show wasn't just a cultural phenomenon. It was a global obsession. But what happened to the cast after the final credits rolled in Westeros? Who disappeared quietly, and who became Hollywood royalty? In this video, we revisit the faces that brought Westeros to life, from their humble beginnings in 2011 to where they are now in 2025. This is the Game of Thrones cast, then and now. When Game of Thrones began, Kit Harington was a relative unknown, a classically trained actor whose brooding performance as Jon Snow quickly became the emotional center of the series. His quiet strength and moral conflict made him a fan favorite and turned the phrase, "You know nothing, Jon Snow," into a pop culture reference point. After the series ended, Harington struggled with the immense pressure of sudden global fame, taking time off to focus on his mental health. In the years since, he returned to the screen in projects like Eternals, 2021, stage productions in London, and most recently, a leading role in the upcoming thriller The Hollow Crown, marking his full-circle return to complex, morally conflicted characters. As Daenerys Targaryen, Emilia Clarke delivered one of the most memorable performances of the entire series, a character who began as a pawn and rose to become a queen. Her transformation was both powerful and tragic, and Clarke played every step with raw emotion and strength. Off-screen, she survived 2 life-threatening brain aneurysms during the early seasons, something she revealed years later. After Game of Thrones, she starred in romantic drama Me Before You, Solo, a Star Wars story, and took on a lead role in Marvel's Secret Invasion, 2023. She also founded a charity called Same You, focused on brain injury recovery, and became a respected advocate for health awareness and women's rights. Peter Dinklage's portrayal of Tyrion Lannister wasn't just compelling, it was historic. His performance brought nuance, intelligence, and humanity to a character often dismissed by others, earning him 4 Primetime Emmy Awards. Post-Westeros, Dinklage took on a diverse range of roles, including Cyrano, 2021, and the satirical dark comedy American Dreamer, 2023. A lifelong stage actor at heart, he also returned to Broadway in King Lear as the Fool, proving once again that his range is unmatched. In 2025, he continues to break barriers in Hollywood and beyond, both as an actor and a producer. As Cersei Lannister, Lena Headey crafted a villain as terrifying as she was complex. A woman shaped by trauma, power, and an unrelenting will to survive. Headey was already a seasoned actress before Game of Thrones, but the role brought her global attention and critical acclaim. After the series, she took a step back from blockbuster projects, instead gravitating toward indie films like The Flood and the miniseries The White House Plumbers. Sophie Turner was just 13 when she first portrayed Sansa Stark, a role that matured alongside her. What began as a naive noble girl ended with a hardened Queen of the North, a journey mirrored by Turner's own evolution in the industry. Following Game of Thrones, she starred in the X-Men franchise as Jean Grey and took on the lead in Survive, a psychological thriller series. Turner's personal life also drew media attention following her marriage to musician Joe Jonas, though she has remained focused on expanding her acting range in more grounded, dramatic roles. Maisie Williams' performance as Arya Stark, the youngest Stark daughter turned hardened assassin, became one of the show's defining stories. Her work was fearless and emotionally layered, especially given that she began the role at just 12 years old. After the series, she pursued a more eclectic path, starring in The New Mutants, the dark comedy 2 Weeks to Live, and the miniseries Pistol, where she portrayed punk icon Pamela Rook. Williams also became involved in tech and fashion startups, including a company focused on sustainable digital fashion. Her career continues to push boundaries, moving between screen work, activism, and entrepreneurship. Jaime Lannister began as a villain and ended as one of Game of Thrones' most morally complex characters. Danish actor Nikolaj Coster-Waldau handled the transition with grace and gravitas, delivering one of the show's most memorable character arcs. After the series, he worked on a variety of international and indie projects, including The Silencing, A Taste of Hunger, and the true crime series The Staircase. He also became a UN Goodwill Ambassador for climate change and global awareness. Coster-Waldau has continued to choose meaningful, character-driven roles while using his platform for global advocacy. Gwendoline Christie broke every mold as Brienne of Tarth, a towering knight who lived by a code of honor in a world that mocked her for it. Her performance was not just physically powerful, but emotionally profound. After Game of Thrones, she stood out in The Sandman as Lucifer and in Wednesday as Principal Weems. Christie also became a major figure in high fashion, known for her bold red carpet appearances and collaborations with avant-garde designers. In 2025, she's rumored to lead a fantasy series of her own. Christie continues to blur the line between classical performer and cultural icon. Theon Greyjoy's storyline, from arrogance to trauma to redemption, demanded some of the series' most emotionally difficult acting. Alfie Allen delivered every scene with remarkable vulnerability. Following Game of Thrones, Allen earned critical praise for his role in Jojo Rabbit, where he played a comedic Nazi officer. He also appeared in action films like SAS, Red Notice, and television dramas such as White House Farm. Allen's post-Thrones work has stayed within smaller-scale, nuanced performances, often showcasing the sensitivity that made his portrayal of Theon so powerful. Isaac Hempstead Wright was just 10 years old when he began his role as Bran Stark, a character who would evolve from innocent boy to the supernatural three-eyed raven. After the show ended, he took a break from acting to study neuroscience at university. While his acting career slowed down, he returned briefly to voice a character in the Box Trolls and appeared in smaller projects. Though less active in the industry, Wright has maintained a connection to the Game of Thrones fanbase and occasionally appears at conventions and public events. From icy castles to red carpets, from battlefields to sound stages, the cast of Game of Thrones has grown far beyond the borders of Westeros. Some stepped into global superstardom, others turned toward quieter paths, but all left an indelible mark on television history. As we look back at their journey, we're reminded that stories don't end at the credits. They evolve, just like the people who tell them. If you enjoyed this look at the cast of Game of Thrones, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us. Which actor's post-Thrones journey surprised you the most?